it on the Divine Lord and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mridangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last two classes we have discussed about 3 ways of karma yoga. Today I am taking another new topic which is very useful for our spiritual practices. It is the significance of faith. If you have faith in yourself, you can achieve the result without any doubt. So, faith plays very important role in one's life. The success of life depends on the extent of faith he has cherished in himself. Sri Ramakrishna, in the course of his teachings, said, it was through the power of his mind that Hanuman leaped over the sea. It's a very interesting story. You know the story that comes in Ramayana, where the monkeys, that is, they have got the body of the monkey, but the face is human. They are specially born in order to fulfill the special mission for which Sri Ramachandra incarnated. Well, Sri Ramachandra's wife, Janaki, was abducted by a great demon by name Ravan. And when Sri Ramachandra came to know about it, he was very sad and he was trying to find out the whereabouts of Janaki. Where might she have gone? Where might she have gone? So he took the assistance of these monkeys. I told you special type of monkeys, not the ordinary monkeys you see in the jungle nowadays. Anyway, so the monkeys, they divided themselves into different groups. One of the group was sitting on the seashore, totally exhausted. They have tried to see all the places. They have searched for Janaki in all the places. They could not find her. So they were all frustrated. Probably they may not be able to see her whereabouts at all. But then one area was not searched. That is, there was a city across the seashore that was not seen. So that is the only place left over. So the monkeys were all debating who would be able to cross this ocean to get into that city. The name of the city is called Sri Lanka. And there were many monkeys who could jump over. Each one was exhibiting his skill and power, how much power he has got. Some of them were telling they could jump half the way of the ocean. They can't completely cross the ocean. So like that everybody was talking, and nobody was able to come forward to suggest that he could cross over the ocean. So they were all seriously thinking about this. There was one leader of the monkeys. His name was Hanuman. Probably you have seen in the Ramnam. We do Ramnam every second Saturday of every month. The portrait of Sri Ramachandra's. You can see Hanuman sitting with his head bowed down, bowing down at the feet of Sri Ramachandra. He was sitting very quietly. He was not talking at all. All others were talking about and exhibiting their powers, etc., how much power they have got and so on. But here is a person who he was silent. He was observing the whole thing. And finally, all the eyes of the monkeys fell on him. Well, you are very silent, you are not talking at all. So what is your idea? Would you be able to accomplish this task of crossing over the ocean, jumping over the ocean, and to search for Janaki in the place there? And Hanuman said, yeah, well, by the grace of Sri Ramachandra, I would be able to do it. Because my faith in Rama can accomplish anything in this world. So, they were all surprised. And he was so confident, overwhelming confidence, and he was telling he is ready to undertake this work. And he is ready to sacrifice his life if it is for the sake of Sri Ramachandra, whom he considered as his master, his spiritual master, his everything. Hanuman considered himself as a servant of Sri Ramachandra. All the time, he would be repeating Rama's name. It is said, wherever the Ram Nam is sung, there Hanuman presents literally. He will be sitting there and participating in the Ram Nam. Anyway, He just repeated Rama's name, and from the high mountain top, he just made a big jump, and he crossed over the ocean, and he did find Janaki and came back with the happy report that he saw Janaki, and the story goes like that. So Hanuman was telling, I am the servant of Rama. I have repeated the holy name of Rama. Is there anything impossible for me? That was Hanuman's faith. And Sri Ramakrishna says, if you cherish that faith, your half the journey in spiritual life is over. Faith takes you easily in your spiritual path towards success. You are bound to get success. This is the assurance given by Sri Ramakrishna, the master of spirituality. He says in another place, God the Supreme, He is Chidananda. That is, He is always present, He is always blissful, He is the source of all knowledge. That supreme being, that supreme consciousness, the substratum of the whole creation, comes to us, becomes accessible to us in the form of the Guru. So the Guru's position is very important in everyone's life. So, if a person is initiated by a human guru, his attitude should be, he must regard his guru as the veritable manifestation of God Himself. He must not consider his guru as ordinary human being. That concept is very important. That attitude is very important. If you maintain that attitude, you will see how you'll be having inbuilt faith which will take you very fast in your spiritual pursuit. There is a story in Mahabharata. A person belonging to a hunter class, he somehow desired to learn archery. So he wanted to come to the Guru who knew the subject very well. At that point of time, there was one person who was very expert in the archery. His name was Dronacharya, who was the teacher for the Kauravas and Pandavas. He was very great. And this gentleman, Eklavya, his name, he came to Drona and asked him, "Sir, I want to learn archery." But Drona did not accept him as the disciple. So he had some reason for not taking him as his disciple. But then the student was so eager to learn the archery, and he had so much of faith tremendous confidence in that Guru, what he did was he went to the forest, he made the clay image of the Drona, of the Guru whom he went, and he worshipped that clay image, and he was sitting there in meditation before practicing archery every time. Because he had such tremendous faith in that clay image of Drona, he became the master of archery. And when finally Drona himself came and saw the skill of this person, he was amazed. He was amazed. So, with faith, everything can be achieved. That's the point. It is faith that prompts us to launch an undertaking. It is faith that takes us through all the trials and tribulations of the adventure. And it is faith that finally crowns us with grand success. So, faith is the alpha and omega of human endeavor. As Lord Krishna says in the Gita, a man is what his faith makes him. Now the question is, faith in what? Faith in oneself. You must believe in yourself. You must not degrade yourself at all. You must have dauntless, unvacillating faith in your own capacity. Sometimes we hear a friend complaining, "Oh, I planned everything well, but something went wrong and the scheme did not come through." But it is wrong. Long before a plan failed, the planner must have failed. When the pilot loses his bearings, what wonder that the plane crashes? As a matter of fact, it is not that we don't have faith, but that we don't put our faith where we should. We believe in everything external, but don't have the corresponding belief in the inexhaustible spring within us. We think A will help us, B will fare us, he will show favor to us, and C will be in advantageous circumstance. And then something goes awry, and we blame it on ourselves and others. We put the blame on others. We grouse against outside factors that let us down. We don't pause to consider how we ourselves proved inadequate to the task. We didn't have sufficient self-confidence, and so the other persons and factors on which we placed our confidence proved ropes of sand. To have faith, to have firm faith in oneself, does not mean egoism. A man of faith is, on the contrary, very humble. The egoist is one who is not sure of himself and therefore makes a great show to impress the world. The one with faith, however, is master of himself, and he is not at all demonstrative in his confidence that he can do the task on hand.
The truth is that each of us is a spark of the divine fire. In each of us is the full potentiality of divinity. The tragedy is that we have somehow forgotten this great fact and so wallow in misery. Only when we get reconvinced about our latent divinity can we become heirs to unconditional bliss. There's a famous parable of Sri Ramakrishna illustrating this point very nicely. In a forest there was a tigress. It was pregnant. It was wandering here and there for food. Once it jumped across a stream. In that effort, she died. In the process, she gave birth to a cub. But the mother died. There was a flock of sheep grazing nearby. The shepherd saw this and immediately took that cub. He took it along with the sheep. So, the motherless little tiger, cub, was reared among the sheep. So naturally it imbibed all the nature of the sheep. As it grew up, the tiger cub considered itself a sheep. It bleated like a sheep and ate like a sheep, though it was not a sheep. After some days, one day another tiger from the forest somehow came to that area where all the sheep and this sheep tiger also were grazing there. And as soon as the flock of sheep saw the tiger approaching them, they all ran in terrible fear. And while running, they were bleating. And this little cub, tiger cub, also began to run away along with the sheep, bleating. The tiger, which just came from the forest, it was amazed at this strange sight. It was wondering how a little tiger could live with sheep and behave like a sheep. So what it did was it leaped and pounced upon the cub. When the cub began to bleat more loudly, then the tiger told the cub that it was not sheep like any one of them, but it was a tiger like himself. It was a shame for the little one to eat grass and bleat like sheep. But the cub would not believe immediately. Then what the tiger did was it dragged the cub to the stream nearby. In the clear water of the stream could be seen the images of both the tiger and the cub. Then the tiger asked the cub to compare the images. The cub was taken aback to notice how similar to the ferocious tiger it itself looked. While the cub was hesitating, the tiger put into its mouth a little of the blood-drenched meat from one of the sheep the tiger had just killed. The taste of the sheep blood and the meat transformed the cub. It began to feel its real nature. It began to feel that it was not a sheep at all. It was really a tiger. It began to have faith in what the grown-up tiger had said, to complete the picture, the tiger gave a terrible roar and asked the cub to imitate him. The bleating of the cub gave way to a roar, and presently the big and small tigers were roaring in chorus. So, all that we require for success and happiness is to have faith in our real nature. We must learn to give the tiger roar. We are suffering because we have forgotten our true nature. Faith moves mountains. Faith has tremendous power. It delivers us goods. Faith in ourselves is only the other side of faith in God. Trust in oneself and trust in the divine are the obverse and reverse of the same coin. The one implies the other. Well, a doubt, however, can arise. How can we have faith in someone we have not seen, with whom we cannot communicate, of whom we have no experience? The doubt is natural and it is legitimate, but it should not worry us or shackle our progress. We need not know the exact nature of a thing to believe in it and make use of it. We can take advantage of things of which we know very little. How many of us are familiar with the details of the working of a jet plane? Most of us don't know. Yet do we not buy an air ticket and cross continents in these planes? We have trust in them, though we do not know much about their functioning. Again, we know precious little about the process called digestion. But without any hesitation or fear, we eat our fill. We trust the body to look after the digestion. When we can readily put our trust in the plane and in the process of digestion, what prevents us from trusting God, the source of our being? It is not that God cannot be known, only it requires a rigorous practice or well-defined disciplines to know the nature of God. That's where all these yogas came. Yoga means spiritual sadhana in discipline. That's called yoga. It is just as we can understand a machine or a biological process by careful study and experimentation, but we need not postpone availing ourselves of the power of the divine until we have fully realized the nature of the divine. We are all children of the immortal. Amritasya putraha, Swami Vivekananda said in the Parliament of Religions. We are all immortal children. So our essential nature is divine. We are essentially pure. The impurities have covered up our pure nature. So our task should be to break these impurities, to wash away these impurities. Then the real nature sparkles itself. This conviction is sufficient to give us the necessary dynamism to face all life's problems dauntlessly. It is not necessary for the tender child of a king to know the nature of his father's might. By invoking the attention of his father, the child can get everything done. Human intelligence is extremely limited, and God is infinite intelligence. With our shackled senses, we can never hope to understand the limitless nature of the divine. But it is enough if we realize that our limited existence is organically a part of the divine existence. Faith is but the wire that connects the lamp of consciousness in us to the central power station, that is God. Faith is a connecting cable. The light that burns in our lamp derives its energy from the central source. If we are able to excel in any field of endeavor, it is only because we have knowingly or unknowingly connected ourselves to the infinite excellence. That is the Supreme. When the Lord says in the Gita that the doubter perishes, samshayatma vinashyati, a man who doubts ruins himself. When Lord said this, it is this that he means. The man who doubts lacks faith. He omits to connect himself to the central source of power. And then he complains that his tiny light doesn't burn. So the stronger one faith, the stronger one's faith in the divine, the easier becomes the solution to all our problems. So trust in God reinforces our trust in ourselves and speeds us along the happy way. So, how very important it is to build up that tremendous faith. Losing the faith means losing the life. Building up the faith means building up the life. If you have truly built up your faith, you are sure to accomplish your targeted goal. If your goal is to reach God, you will reach God undoubtedly by the power of the faith. When you have tremendous faith, you seriously undertake all the spiritual disciplines which take you towards that supreme abode of peace and bliss. Page 620. After the music and dancing, Sri Ramakrishna sat on the couch and the devotees sat on the floor. He said to M, "It's a pity you weren't here in the afternoon. The musical recital of the Chandi was very fine." Some of the devotees went to the temple to salute the image of the Divine Mother. Others sat quietly performing japa on the steps leading to the Ganges. It was about 11 o'clock, the most auspicious time for contemplation of the Divine Mother. The flood tide was rising in the Ganges, and the lights on its banks were reflected here and there in dark waters. From outside the shrine, M was looking wistfully at the image. Ramlal came to the temple with a book in his hand containing the rules of the worship. He asked M if he wanted to come in. M felt highly favored and entered the shrine. He saw that the Divine Mother was profusely decorated. The room was brilliantly illuminated by a large chandelier that hung from the ceiling. 2 candles were burning in front of the image. On the floor were trays full of offerings. Red hibiscus flowers and bell leaves adorned her feet. She wore garlands round her neck. M's eyes fell on the chamara. Suddenly he remembered that Sri Ramakrishna often fanned the Divine Mother with it. With some hesitation he asked Ramlal if he might fan the image. The priest gave his permission. M joyously fanned the image. The regular worship had not yet begun. The devotees again entered the master's room. Beni Lal had invited Sri Ramakrishna to visit the Sinti Brahma Samaj the next day, but had made a mistake in his letter with regard to the date. Master said to M, Beni Lal has sent me an invitation, but why has he put the wrong date? Master Maharshi said, the date was not written correctly. He wrote the letter carelessly. As Sri Ramakrishna spoke, he was standing in the middle of the room with Babu Ram by his side. He leaned towards the disciple, touching his body. Suddenly he went into samadhi. The devotees stood around with their eyes fixed on him. The master's left foot was advanced a little. The shoulder was slightly inclined to one side. His arm rested on Babu Ram's neck near the ear. After a while, he came down from the ecstatic state. As he stood there, he put one hand to his cheek and appeared to be brooding over something. Then, smiling, he addressed the devotees. Master said, I saw everything, how far the devotees had advanced. I saw Rakhal, him pointing to him, Surendra, Babu Ram, and many others. We shall stop here. So, to have faith in oneself is very important to accomplish anything in this world. Without faith, you get into nothing. That's the conclusion of today's topic. Faith in oneself is faith in God Himself. So, if you have faith, faith is the source of infinite power and energy. It supplies you remarkable energy. And you'll be overwhelmed with that power. So as I said, faith is the cable that connects your consciousness with the Supreme Consciousness. If there is any defect in the connection, you lose faith in yourself, and the result would be you will be suffering unnecessarily. So in order to overcome the suffering, you have to re-establish the connection. You have to call for the electrician. Here the electrician would be Guru. You have to approach the Guru. You have to praise your problem. Sir, I am having a lot of difficulties in my life. I am not feeling peace of mind. What can I do? And he will try to establish connection. Look, you are suffering because the cable is defective. You have to replace the cable. Then he gives the mantra. That mantra is the cable. You have to completely trust the mantra which is given to you by the Guru, whom you should consider as the veritable image of God Himself. The disciple should not consider the Guru as an ordinary human being. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Chidananda, the Supreme Guru, manifests himself through the human beings in order to help the spiritual aspirants to come to the truth. So, for anything you want to achieve, in order to get success, you must have faith. So, it is very simple. If you don't have faith, develop the faith. That's all. Any question? Any discussion or question, you are welcome to ask. Surendra. Surendra is one of the devotees, household devotees. Mm-hmm. Same. No question? All right. No question means no doubts. No doubts means your faith is well established. Wonderful. Shall stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee the heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet, let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.